Hello, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, May 9th, 2023, and I'm here along the access road to Stonewall Mine here at Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. And I want to do a spotlight on plants video today. It's on a plant I've been waiting to see bloom all spring, and I've started seeing it, and it's time to spotlight it. So what are we going to spotlight today? We're going to spotlight Checkerbloom. Here we have it right here. This is Sidalcea Malvaceae. This plant is a perennial herbaceous plant in the Mallow Family, the Malvaceae. And it's a plant of quite a few different forms. And we'll talk about that more pretty soon. What we have is a small, low-growing perennial plant that puts most of its effort into the spring. So we're in May, so I've got this plant here. These beautiful purplish flowers. And if you look at it very carefully, and you know what a hibiscus plant is, and a lot of people know what hibiscus is. It's a very common ornamental plant in the lowlands here in Southern California. Here we are about 4,700 feet above sea level here. But if you look closely, you could see the heightened area where all of the stamens and the pistil are is kind of similar to what you would see in a hibiscus plant. And there's a reason why. Hibiscus plants and these beautiful, beautiful checkerblooms are related. They're in the Mallow family, the Malvaceae. Now, hibiscus is primarily known for its large, woody, ornamental shrubs. These are much smaller plants, but they are quite noticeable when you come here in mid-spring. And we're in mid-spring right now. So, now when I'm saying the plant takes a few different forms, in other words, polymorphism, it's mostly in regards to the leaves of the plant. Now, as you see here, a lot of the lower leaves are kind of rotund, almost heart-shaped. As you can see, the base of the leaf is cleft, and you can see some gentle lobing around the edges of the leaves. Now, a lot of times when you look higher up on the plant, see, we're looking at the lower portions of the stems of this plant. So when we're looking higher up on it, now we can see that the leaves are very different, much more deeply lobed, and almost divided into leaflets when you get it higher up towards the base of the inflorescence. And then, of course, again, the absolutely stunning flowers of this plant really make you take notice. So we're going to generally find these beautiful plants a lot of times on the edges of roads, disturbed areas, and also in grassy, wooded areas. We're here in a small copse of Jeffrey pines here, and you'll find them a lot of times on the edge of oak woodlands, and then grasslands and meadows. They love grasslands and meadows. And you can find different forms of this plant. I'm not going to go too much into the subspecies and varieties because there are some known varieties like subspecies Malvaflora and then subspecies dolosa and a couple others. I'm not going to go into subspecies because I really don't know how to tell them apart. I'm not really going to go into that. I'm just going to focus on the plant itself. This is a plant I've seen in the low elevations in San Diego, Orange County, and I've seen them up here above 4,000 feet in the mountains, sometimes even a little higher. So again, they like grassy areas. I think they'd be more likely to prefer native grasslands, but I do see a lot of, I'm not really very knowledgeable in grasses, but I have seen them in more invasive grasses as well. But they definitely like meadows, meadow edges, delightful plant to see when you're in the wild. Pretty widespread here in Southern California. Places to see them are some of San Diego's local canyons, those little small canyons between the mesas in San Diego, the foothills, and of course here in the mountains. Really can't go wrong with this beautiful plant here. I will post a more comprehensive range of this plant on the screen, but it is very common, locally abundant here in Southern California. So I'm going to take a couple pictures and get back to you, and we'll wrap up this small spotlight on such a small but large, small plant in size but large beauty. So when you're out and about, up here above 4,000 feet, you're going to want to look more towards generally the month of May, sometimes as early as March and April at our lower elevations here. But this plant is definitely something to look out for when you're hiking along grassy trails. It's such a cheerful plant, and it's definitely a mood uplifter. And the flowers themselves are sometimes polymorphous as well. Let's take a look at that, because there is some difference between individual flowers on these plants. So you see here, these flowers are kind of small, kind of narrow, with narrow petals. But look at these ones with the broader petals and more cup-shaped appearance. The corolla is more cup-shaped in appearance here. So the flowers, even the flowers themselves, do have some polymorphism. So the leaves and the flowers are different depending on which one you're looking at. So that's it. The beautiful Checkerbloom. Now, like I said, there are others. There are some. I believe there are a few other species. I think there's one called Sidalcea neomexicana. It's supposed to be a very similar species. I don't think it's supposed to be very common here in Southern California. That could be a possibility. But here, generally, we're going to be looking at the beautiful Sidalcea Malvaceae. Right here from Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. That's going to wrap up my Spotlight on Plants video. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it insightful and helpful in identifying some more of our beautiful spring flowers here in Southern California. See you on the next Spotlight.